Hey folks, welcome back to the Restaurant Show. You know, if you watch our program religiously, which I know some of you do, you know that we like to highlight different local area restaurants. And a lot of times, those folks are highlighting things from their menu. Today is no exception. However, we have someone with us who really wants to teach you, give you a little bit of an education of how you might be able to do some of these things at home. This is Lee Drapp, General Manager over at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. How are you, Lee?
Super, Justin. Thank you.
Good to have you with us here today. So I see you brought some Brussels sprouts. And I got to tell you, I'm actually a huge fan of Brussels sprouts, believe it or not. When they're done properly, they're just amazing. So I'm sure today is no exception. So what are we doing today? Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing.
Well, first of all, you either love them or you hate them, that's for certain.
Right.
And I'm glad you love them.
Yes.
I don't know if I can measure up to your wife's Brussels sprouts,
Well,
but
we'll try. I'll give you a chance.
and that's okay if we don't. If it's second place, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Now, this is the Brussels sprout,
Right.
and they are known for their edible buds. They actually came in recognition more in about the 1500s, and they come from Belgium.
Okay.
And Brussels is the capital of Belgium.
Okay, sure.
And that's where they came up with the word Brussels sprouts.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense. So now, these are sprouts. Did they grow any larger than this?
I don't believe so, no. I think they're really known for their edible buds, but perhaps they would eventually. I'm not that certain to that, to be honest with you, yes.
They're just cabbages that are shrunk.
They are part of the cabbage family,
Okay.
yes.
So anyway,
Well, I wanted to just share a quick note to that when you do get them, as edible and as delicious as they can be, you do want to always, well, at least we do, we cut it in half. But also there's a little bit of a tail end there that you want to make sure you get off. And the purpose for that is it just can be a little bit tough no matter how much you try to cook that.
Right.
It'll be difficult as well. So I just want to kind of point that out, that simple process of just eliminating that and keeping it more to the cabbage part, the ball of it, and the leafy part of the Brussels sprout.
Now, is it a good idea, do you think, to peel off the top layer when you first get your Brussels sprouts, or is just washing them good enough? Or
I think washing is good enough. I think you should
Okay.
use your eyes a little bit and take
Sure.
a look. If something's a little more brown, certainly you want to discard that
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely. Okay, so we've got a frying pan here that looks like it's just about heated up, so what's our next step?
Well, I wanted to talk about the process from this. So you cut those up and you cut them in half.
Okay.
But then you also want to take time and you marinate them in a little bit of canola oil.
Ooh.
And then you put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper and some bacon fat as well for that flavor.
Ooh, all right.
So you just really want to just glaze the Brussels sprout and then cook them in the oven at about 375 for about 12 to 15 minutes, really until it's al dente, where it kind of separates a little bit, that leaf starts to come apart.
Right.
And then you got yourself that first step of the great Brussels sprouts.
So you don't want it to be mush, in other words.
That's correct, right.
Right.
Yep.
Well, you know, you add bacon anything to anything, and it's an improvement, I think. So
Without a
bacon
doubt.
fat, you know, of course, who wouldn't like a Brussels sprout that has been cooked in bacon fat? So
Yeah, we're in good shape right away, just with that ingredient. So we're going to do the bacon fat.
Okay.
We do have 3 ingredients after that, and that's more bacon fat, and then we have honey butter.
Okay.
And we also have fresh cooked bacon as well. And then from that bacon that you're cooking for that is where you get that bacon fat right from there.
All right, very good.
So we're going to take a tablespoon of bacon grease or fat. Yes. Put a little bit of that on there.
There you go.
Okay. You hear that sizzling up a little bit.
That is popping.
Woo! Man.
Party!
Look at that. Man, I hope the fire alarms don't go off.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't have any here, so just kidding.
And then we're going to put those Brussels sprouts. Now, this is the product when it's done. You can tell the difference in color and more of that leafiness that comes about.
Sure.
But you can also see the salt and pepper that's evident as well.
Gotcha,
Okay?
gotcha.
So we're going to put that.
So these have been in the oven already, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
We've baked them already.
Okay.
On that 12 to 15, making sure they're al dente.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to kind of move those around a little bit.
Wow, all right.
Okay. And just want to get a little bit of that flavor from that bacon fat.
Yeah.
Now remember, we talked earlier that we marinate in that canola oil and the bacon fat.
Right.
And the salt and pepper, but we want to add a little bit more of that flavor right at the time of cooking the product.
Sure, okay.
Okay, so we've got that. And then we've got honey butter here. And this is really just a consistency of, I would say, probably 1/8 honey, and the rest of it is the...
It's butter.
Is butter. That is correct. That's just going to finish that off real quick right there.
Look at that.
Yep. And you got to let that kind of slowly cook and kind of marinate into that. Okay.
Now, is this an item that is ordered pretty frequently over at Ruth's, Chris?
Absolutely.
People love this.
People love it. I've got a lot of tough childhood memories of Brussels sprouts, and
My kids will too, probably, because we kind of we give it to them all the
I
time.
grew up eating everything on my plate, and if I didn't, I was in trouble, to say the least.
Okay.
And I just remember holding my nose and trying to drink milk, and,
Yeah,
and a
wash
lot
it
of
down.
teardrops falling too. So yeah, it was pretty
Poor
tough.
Lee, poor Lee.
But,
Well, hopefully you've acquired the taste now, so we won't have any tears today.
Well, I do think, you know, besides your wife's, I think we have the best Brussels sprouts in town.
Well, I'm glad you are acknowledging that, and I'll tell you the truth when the cameras are off. How's that sound?
Well, you were boasting about it already. You don't want to get yourself in trouble.
That's true. That's true. So.
And speaking of which, your wife, this is something you left when you were at the restaurant.
Well,
last
thank
night.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. He'll be happy to go back home with his brother and sister.
And we
so.
should have Chef Justin on because he bakes his own cakes for his wife. Just a little tidbit for you. Yeah, and men out there, we could probably all learn from that. as
Right,
well.
yeah. My cakes have come a long way in the last 10, 15 years since we've been together, so.
Well, I believe you told me your wife's a baker too, isn't she?
She is, so
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a standard there, but you know, it's more like, oh, that's cute, you baked me a cake.
Yes. All right, so then we're going to just add the bacon here.
Okay.
We've got it simmering a little bit. We've already got that bacon grease or fat into it. Now we've added that honey butter for that little bit of sweetness to it. And then we're going to add a little bit of bacon to it as well. Okay? All right.
Very good.
So we'll finish up right there.
And just kind of work that in a little bit and
Work it in.
Okay.
Make it look fancy a little bit, and we're almost done. To be honest with you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, real quick, we've got just about a half a minute left.
You bet.
Anything new going on at Ruth Chris that you want to highlight or just reiterate?
Yeah, winter's coming, and you know, it's just a busy time. We always have our classics. It's 4 times a year. We change them every quarter, and you know, we'll be changing that here November 11th.
Sure.
With some new items as well, but it's always a great way to get in the door. $45.95 takes you from the salad all the way to dessert with an entree and a side dish at only $45.95.
And I think that's what we did when we were there, and that's a good deal. So,
All right, so here's your Brussels sprouts. We'll
All
put
right.
that on there real quick.
yeah. That's delicious.
Oh yeah, wait until you try one.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed one.
That's all right.
Well, everybody gave me slack for that crab stack because it was
All right.
falling apart a little bit.
Do we usually with a spoon or a fork here? Or?
Be careful, it's hot. Okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that though. I'm gonna give it a try here. Oh God, that is hot.
It's hot.
That is very
You
hot.
might just say it smells good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this after the break. I promise you, I love Brussels sprouts, and these look amazing. But Lee, I want to thank you for coming on the show and give us an education today. Really easy to make at home, or if you don't want to make them at home, head on over to Ruth's Chris, and there is more restaurant show coming up after the break.
Thank you, Justin.